Well, it is evident that the MSS and the Haitian National Police are having quite a hard time to counter the gangs in Haiti because recently we've been hearing of attacks in different regions that seem not to be stopped by the MSS or the Haitian National Police. So this kept me wondering about who these Haitian gangs are and why is it difficult to put a stop to the atrocities that they are committing against the civilians or the people of Haiti. And one person stands out in this, and that is Jimmy Cherizier, aka Barbecue. We know him to be a gang leader. We know him as the visible leader of gangs in Haiti. There are other gang leaders, but Barbecue has stood out to be the visible kingpin of Haitian gangs. He's the symbol of Haitian gangs. This same Barbecue, we've seen having interviews with YouTubers across the world. YouTubers come to Haiti and they meet Barbecue. They walk around with Barbecue in the communities. They walk around with Barbecue on the streets. You can see Barbecue explaining why he's doing all this struggle. And yet we know that Barbecue has been sanctioned by the US. He has been sanctioned by the UN. He's perhaps Haiti's most wanted person. Yet he is out here walking in the community, not hiding his face, asking his fellows to hide their faces, but he himself, he's not hiding his face. Everyone in the world right now knows Barbecue. In fact, just this week we've had about 2 documentaries showcasing Barbecue in his neighborhood, walking around with the YouTubers and having a good interview. So why has it been very hard for the MSS or the Haitian National Police or the law enforcement in Haiti to counter the gangs in Haiti? So in this video, I'm going to give 5 main reasons why it has been very difficult for the MSS, the Haitian National Police, to counter the Haitian gangs and to arrest Barbecue in Haiti. Well, the first and the main reason why it has been very difficult to counter the gangs in Haiti is the disorganization that we are seeing in the government. And this did not start just yesterday. The disorganization in Haiti's government has been running for quite some time. Even during Jovenel Moise's time, we saw Jovenel Moise changing prime ministers, we saw him changing cabinet ministers. There was a lot of instability in the country. And this instability has persisted over time. We've seen Ariel Henry stepping down. We saw just the past weekend all this play out where Prime Minister Gary Conille has been replaced by Prime Minister Alexis Fields. So this government instability, the disorganization in government, is playing a very huge role in fanning the gang mentality in Haiti. This is the same thing that is driving these people to join gangs, the same thing that is making the community to appreciate gangs more than the government. Because if the community will support the government, these gang leaders will not have space, they will not have recruits, they will not have a place where they can govern or say that they are organizing youth to come to support their cause. So it is evident that the community in one way or another are either indifferent or they are supporting these gangs. And this is because of the government disorganization that exists in Haiti. When you keep changing the top leadership, it really gives a negative vibe to the entire nation, because at one time you have this leader that is appreciated by people or appreciated by a majority of people. Then you are changing that by someone else. Now you're making these people who are used to this person, who supported this person, to now be opposition immediately without even having a cushion to the other side. So all this disorganization is bringing a lot of instability and is making these gangs to grow even more. The second reason is the under-resourced law enforcement. The current situation in Haiti is really, really dire, and you can see in the law enforcement that Haiti, the Haitian National Police, before we even speak about the MSS, the Haitian National Police is under-resourced, does not have enough manpower. They are doing the recruitment drive right now to have more young people joining the Haitian National Police or the Haitian Army. So they are severely under-resourced. If you're talking about the MSS, we've been speaking about it for ages right now, that the MSS does not have the requisite supplies, it does not have the needed equipment for it to operate in Haiti doesn't have air support as basic as air support. Which police unit does not have air support across the world? Haiti MSS, Haitian National Police, do not have sufficient air support. They don't have this needed equipment for them to work in the manner that they should in these very difficult conditions in Haiti, because these gangs have maneuvered, they have adapted to the urban warfare that goes on in Haiti for them to bore holes in apartments, to shoot at police officers who are trying to approach in a particular neighborhood. It becomes very difficult for the law enforcement to make sure that they can pacify these regions. So without air support, without the needed equipment, it becomes very, very difficult for them to win this war. And that makes the Haitian gangs to survive a day more, a month more, a year longer. And that is why they exist even today, because of the under-resourced law enforcement in the country. The third reason number 3, is insufficient community support. When a government wants to articulate a particular agenda, it needs the support of the community, regardless of how brutal a regime is, regardless of the dictatorship that exists. That government needs the support of the community. Without community support, no agenda can go through. Now we have a society that does not trust its government, because the politicians in that country have become somewhat deceptive to the public. They have promised this and delivered the other. There are rumors of interference from outside countries on the decisions that these politicians are making, and that has made it very, very difficult for the community to trust these politicians. Now, if you don't have that public trust, it is very hard for you to even convince these young people not to join gangs, because that is where it all begins. If you can convince the young people not to join these gangs, not to support these gangs, if you can convince their mothers, their fathers that they should discourage them from joining these gangs, then it will become an easier war to win, because you will have cut the supply of the needed resource, and that is manpower resource that funds these gangs. They are not funded only by money. They are funded mainly by ideology, by the people who are existing in those organizations. So the lack of community support, the lack of trust from the public, as we have seen different governments that have really messed up the country, different governments that have committed atrocities against the Haitian people, all the way from Duvalier, very, very long ago, to these governments that have really messed up with the psyche of the society. It becomes very challenging for the government to earn the trust of the people. It will take a very committed human being to really convince the Haitian public that the government is on their side, that the government is working to their favor, even 51%. So that is a main reason why you're finding that these Haitian gangs are existing and they are thriving, because they know that the government doesn't have the support of the people. Therefore, there is a gap there that they are providing. They are giving hope. If you hear Babakio speaking, he gives the message of hope. He says that we want to liberate this country so that we can have a better life, so that we can make our own decisions as Haitians. And people believe him because they don't have trust in the government. They don't have trust in their politicians. The fourth factor, and perhaps a very important aspect, is the lack of will from the United States to stop the flow of arms. These gangs are made lethal because these are young men with arms. They are feared in these communities. In fact, one man said that you may not fear the man, but you fear the gun. You fear what they can do, and we saw what they can do in Port Son. We've seen what they can do all through. Many innocent people are losing their lives because of these gangs, aimlessly, senselessly, without even regard to human life. Therefore, they are feared. And that is the reason as to why they are growing. People fear them even more than they fear law enforcement. Yeah. So the lack of will by the US, as we have said time and time again, the US has to take its own measures to stop the flow of arms from the United States all the way to Haiti. But very little effort has been put in that aspect. We are seeing the United States getting much involved in the MSS to some extent, and the Haitian politics, the who is going to become prime minister, the who is going to become head of presidential transitional council, but they are not solving the important aspect of where are these guns coming from. And that is perhaps the sole reason as to why this war has been going for almost, as we can say, in perpetuity, because they have access to arms. Haiti does not have a law that allows civilians to own guns. If you look at what these gang leaders are saying, that these guns are not made in Haiti, they are made in the United States. That is the reason as to why they have power. If you have very many guns by the civilians and less guns to the government, then you know who is going to call the shots. Definitely not the government of the day. If someone has more power, more arms, they will be part of the say of what happens in that country. And that is the situation in Haiti. If you have an under-resourced, as I said, under-resourced police officers or law enforcement, then there are so many guns and bullets and what have you in the hands of the civilians, then the civilians are going to have more power. And if the civilians are going to form guns, then it becomes a very big challenge for the government of the day. Well, lastly, and the fifth reason why Barbecue has not been arrested so far, because we saw in another episode where Barbecue was tear gassed by the police, and he came out and said that I was tear gassed by the police, but they did not arrest him. The reason as to why they did not arrest him, perhaps, is because of the repercussions that will take place if Barbecue gets arrested today in Haiti. There will be a situation similar to what happened in Mexico in 2019 when Ovidio, the son of Joaquin Guzman El Chapo, was arrested. There was retribution in the streets. There was a lot of gunfire. It was a war zone. At that time, the region of Culiacan was a war zone because of the arrest of one person, the perceived leader, the son of the drug lord. So that can be the same thing that can happen if Barbecue gets arrested. Because if Barbecue has commanded these people to simply retaliate for the change of prime minister, and we are seeing a lot of young people coming out with guns and they're just firing anywhere, they're even shooting planes. What will happen if Barbecue today gets arrested and these guns, wherever they are, they say that we are going to rescue our person? It will be a retribution. And if you go and read or go and watch what happened in Mexico when the son of El Chapo was arrested in 2019, that is the first arrest. Many people who suffered are the civilians because these drug dealers went on a rampage. They were shooting everything and anything that moves. They were burning vehicles. They were burning houses. They say that we are not going to calm down unless you release the son of El Chapo. And at the end of the day, the government had to release Ovidio because of the retribution that was being waged by the drug dealers. And that is the same scenario. Of course, Ovidio was later arrested in 2023. And now he is in the US. He was extradited to the US. It was a planned arrest that, of course, had retribution, but not as much because it was sort of planned and organized. So if same thing happens and it is not organized, it is not planned, then there can be a lot of loss of lives that even the government does not want to see, because we have witnessed that these people do not even value life. We've witnessed them. They're shooting, going to the market and shooting everyone and anything that they can see. So perhaps a similar event can be witnessed where many people will lose their life, and it is better than this person just stays in the community and you fight the people who are working for them and you fight the source. Then you can plan in one or the other way how you can arrest him and prevent mass suffering of the society. So those are the reasons that I have, 5 main reasons as to why it has become very difficult for the law enforcement in Haiti to fight the gangs in Haiti. Tell me what you think I have missed in those 5 reasons. Perhaps you have a 6th one, or maybe you want to remove one of the reasons. and kindly follow and subscribe to this channel as we continue to highlight what is happening in Haiti and what is happening with the MSS force in Haiti and the war of the law enforcement against the gangs in Haiti.